I am officially offering one-to-ones. I came to find that a lot of what people were asking the Debia was not necessarily Debia work. There were questions I could have answered for them, or there was no question at all. It was just more so a need for clarity, which I can most definitely help in that aspect, using a one-to-one session app known as People Talk. The link is below, and you can ask a one-off question with the app, or you can schedule a 30-minute one-to-one. But of course, if we need to go a little bit over, I'm very okay with that. Now, if you need to understand your current situation spiritually from an ancestral perspective, or maybe you feel that you have the calling to be a Debia or some type of calling you're not able to decode, or you're receiving messages that aren't 100% clear and you want to know what to do next, or maybe you have general questions about Odinani and Igbo spirituality, as well as how to apply these principles to solving internal and external conflicts, and feel that a solution rooted in ancestral science will be best, you can schedule a meeting at peopletalk.com/themedicineshow. And like I said, the link is below. And so that is peopletalk/themedicineshow. Pricing is different for AZ tier patrons. So if you're an AZ tier patron, message me first. The last big announcement. I am currently working on a documentary. It is my next documentary, and the topic will be the Ekumeku resistance waged in the Anyama region of Igbo land against the British Empire. But this documentary will go a lot further than that. I'm going to use this as an opportunity to explore secret fighting societies and cults of resistance, not just in Igbo land, but in North America, the Caribbean, South America, and throughout the African continent. So if you're interested in seeing this documentary, you can help us reach 300 patrons by joining patreon.com/themedicineshow. This is my first documentary since the Osu Explained video, which I've linked below, and I'm going all out with this one. I'm very confident you'll be happy about the final result. And with that being said, let's begin. Everything you want has a shadow. There are things that you have classified as unwanted, which you may wish away at your altar. There are things that you classify as wanted, which you may ask your ancestors for. But in both situations, there's also something that you are asking for, but you're not aware of. There's something that is unknown to you, unless you give it critical thought, that you're also wishing away, but you may not be 100% aware of when you're doing it. Because according to our ancestors, all things come in twos. The first part, which is self-evident and willed, and its shadow, a parcel of it that is as classifiably bad as the other part is good, or is as good as the other part is bad, meaning that when you are given, something is taken, and when you want something taken away, something is given, or room is made for something else as a result of your sacrifice. One of my subscribers summed this up very well in a comment he left for the last video, so I'll just read it here. Just to piggyback on the case you point out in this video, any person can say they want something. Only a few can show they really want that thing. You've been praying for rain but can't deal with mud. You want to be a celebrity but can't deal with the lack of privacy that comes with it. You are desperate for children, but do you have the patience to deal with impatience? You want to be married, but are you divorced from selfishness and pride? You want to go to heaven, but are you ready to go through hell? Being conscious of the full scope of what you seek is key to making sure that your manifestations work when you do ask for a new thing in your life, or wish to repel something that is presently there but unwanted. And if there's something you can walk away with based on what I'm saying, the advice I have to offer is that an individual should be ready to sacrifice what they like about a problem before going to their altar and manifesting that problem away. An individual must accept and understand what they don't like about a solution or a blessing before going to their altar and asking for the positive end of that. In the end, an individual's reality is a composition of inputs. According to our ancestors, the cosmos is a combination of forces, all self-interested and moving in the path that their chi created them to move. All things in nature are doing exactly what they want to do. On a natural level, on a community level, a community is exactly what the people in the community want it to be. And on an individual level, you as a person are exactly the person you want yourself to be. There may be things about yourself that you do not like or want to adjust, but an unwillingness to sacrifice the thing that it is tethered to, which you do like, keeps that thing anchored in your person, in life. Many of the problems a community faces is tethered to many of the things the community wants for itself. And while oftentimes we can complain or observe the negative side effects, in the end, both something we cherish and something we do not want will have to be identified as linked and equally sacrificed if a change is to be made. Everything you experience as a person is a result of what you will into the world. And oftentimes what we like about the positive result of a situation makes us complacent about the negative, or makes it difficult to muster the will to rid ourselves of the negative. The issue is summed up in the ilu, "Mmiri bu nwangi bu mmiri ga-aṅụ," or the water that drowns your child is the water you'll drink. So oftentimes your manifestations are work. But if you think of a manifestation like a plant, think of what you don't like about it as the top growth and what you do like about it as the root. Now, here's an example of how all of this plays out on a practical level. When I would do my igofo, I would sometimes ask for peace and success. Now, here's the issue. While peace sounds nice, peace is a cementing of the status quo. Still water has peace. And in order for you to attain success or anything new, there has to be a disruption of that status quo. And that will always come with some sort of conflict, whether external or internal. So when I ask for peace, I am negating what is necessary for success, or I am wishing away success. Unless I already see myself as a successful person, and the maintenance of the status quo would be necessary for me to maintain that state of being. So therefore, if I want a new reality for myself, I cannot be wishing for peace, but rather preparedness for the journey ahead, which will sometimes require battling or conflict. So rather than peace, I've been manifesting patience, because even in a time of conflict, patience is the peaceful embrace of stormy waters and is the type of peace necessary to reach the other side. My son's godmother was actually just telling me a story right when I was in the middle of recording this, so the timing is by no means an accident. But she has made it a goal to relocate to Africa for a very long time. She's somebody I would identify strongly as a Pan-African. So while she's by ethnicity Sudanese, she's lived in Ethiopia, and she has connections all throughout the continent. So she recently came back from Ghana. And she was telling me about how she was asking her ancestors to show her the way. You know, that's just what she asked for them to show her the way. Well, immediately after this, she had her car repossessed. She had a relative call and cuss her out. And this is a very close relative and one of the people that, from what I've seen, she takes care of a lot when the opportunity is presented here in the U.S. She even said that the minute she landed back in the U.S., her skin started breaking out. But while she was in Ghana, she has very smooth, like rich black skin. And somebody identified her and wanted her to be a part of their photo shoots as a model. Just out of the blue. And all these things were happening. And then all of a sudden, she got this letter back from somebody she spoke in Ghana, offering her a job to work with the AU there and relocate to Accra and so forth. And she had gone through such a storm with everything prior with the repossession and the family conflict and so forth, that by the time the opportunity was offered, there was really nothing tethering her to the U.S. anymore. So her asking for the road or the way to be cleared took away her car and even drew a clear boundary between her and her family that she didn't draw prior, but was necessary for her to reach the next level of what she was looking for. So oftentimes when we manifest these things, they're going to come as both good and bad. And the presence of bad or the presence of loss or struggle or hurt does not mean the manifestation is not working, but it is the left foot that has to move forward in order for the right foot to enter the door. Reason number